Hi there, I'm Nale. This is my Ascension 10 silent world record. I'm starting off with lead paperweight. I'm hunting for volley here, and spoiler alert, we do get volley later. But in the meantime, dramatic entrance is going to be saving a lot of time in these early hallways, and even Act 2 and 3 hallways, frankly. Having zero cost AoE on turn 1 is really good for Silent because she's drawing 2 extra cards on turn 1, but doesn't have the extra energy to play them. It also lets me skip these damage commons, which I would normally want to be speeding up these early combats, but dramatic entrance is good enough that I don't need to. And that's going to mean I have more removes in the long run, and I'm drawing my good cards more often, such as Adrenaline, which is a draw consistency tool in itself. That also gives me the energy that I need to scale my volley to be even stronger. One of the best cards we possibly could have seen. From this card, we're going to be getting Backstab. Same principle as Dramatic Entrance, just a little bit weaker. Still good to take, though. At the Junk Pit, I was hoping for Dual Wield. Dual Wield, the idea is that I can copy Dramatic Entrance and immediately blow up any hallway fight. It also gives me 100 gold, which is the main reason I wanted to take the bottom option. Although, getting a card that isn't Dual Wield is going to be negative, ultimately. Especially Entrench, which will not be played the entire run. I take the Ricochet here because after turn 1 I have no more damage output, which means I'm going to die to the Lagavulin Matriarch. However, I immediately regret that because in this shop we get the Volley, and now it's completely outclassed and I never want to see it again. Volley gets upgraded, of course, and we get a very premium potion here. At this event, I can enchant Volley and Adrenaline with Steady so that I can line them up for when I need them. This also means that if I get any components that boost the power of my Volley down the line, I can consistently line them up, which is very important at Ascension 10, especially if I have to fight the test subject, which has multiple phases, intangible turns, and statuses, so it's a very tricky fight to navigate. The Assassinate here is going to give me Vulnerable, and even more turn 1 damage. It's going to be making my Volley deal 50% more damage. And the Power Potion gives me Tracking, so with Neutralize, I'm dealing triple damage, 42. Because we get that combo, I don't need to use my Glow Water Potion here, which is going to be very relevant down the line. Getting out of Lagavulin on really good pace, and we get to permanently add the Tracking to our deck now. Another fantastic source of scaling. And then we get this Big Hug, which is one of my favorite ancient bonuses, actually. Drawing into my good cards more often is very great. And hopefully you're not going through too many deck cycles to actually feel the negative. At this point in the run, I'm just doing my best to get through Act 2 quickly. We're not offered anything interesting yet, so this is a good time to talk about my plans for the future. I'm currently going for the Defect Ascension 10 world record because between the time of recording this and posting it, I got the Regent world record as well. That was with Heavenly Drill, so all 4 of my Ascension 10 records are using X-Cost attacks. Defect doesn't have any unique X-Cost attacks, but I do think that Tempest Thunder is a very legit strategy, so if we're lucky, we could see 5 different X-Cost strategies being featured for every record. I guess that's just the meta for Ascension 10. Still slogging through it here. If you would like to see me do those defect attempts live, or see some Ascension 10 gameplay in general, I'll be live on Twitch, starting Tuesday or Wednesday this coming week. Would love to see you there. Finally, we get to upgrade the tracking. This is discounting, basically an energy upgrade, meaning that Volley hits an extra time. That's an extra 42 damage. That's a very big upgrade, actually, if you think about it. Likewise, Adrenaline is another 42 damage sometimes. This fight is a great example of where Dramatic Entrance saves a ton of time and health. Despite Dramatic Entrance, we are still getting pretty low here. At Ascension 10, you do have to worry about your HP. It's very scary. Especially going into this Insatiable fight. It's absolutely terrifying. Your deck is being shuffled full of statuses, and if you have a combo that you need to line up, it makes it very difficult to do so. So I rest here. I get offered a Prepared Plus. This lets me dig deeper into my deck. while also activating Sly cards. Currently, I only have a Ricochet, which I don't especially care about, but there could be more down the line. And just draw consistency is good. Immediately rewarded for the prepared, we get a Tactician. It's going to be another way to make my volley even stronger. And another 42 damage upgrade there. Here's where the Glow Water Potion is going to come in clutch. I gain the Tactician energy, and then I use it, letting me gain a ton of more energy, activate my tracking, vulnerable, and at this point we can just kill with volley. This fight could have been super slow, but instead we get the turn 1 kill, so Glow Water Potion was a massive time save there. Another Adrenaline is going to be more consistency and more energy. I think about Throwing Axe here. This could speed up hallways quite a lot with Dramatic Entrance or Assassinate. However, I'm concerned about my top end into the bosses and my consistency. So I take the Meat Cleaver, which is going to be some removes later. Doesn't help me quite yet, unfortunately. In the meantime, we are going to be taking some damage here. Dramatic Entrance with the Throwing Axe would have just solved. But I do still stand by that decision. Calculated Gamble is like a Giga Prepared. I'm drawing so many cards, so this is going to help me line up my stuff much more consistently on early turns. Going down, nothing good there. From here we get a Potion Belt. Could be very good. Potions are a premium resource for Ascension 10 speedruns. You oftentimes need to throw a few potions at bosses to bring them down, because it's very difficult to consistently achieve the top end with just your cards and relics that you need to take them down without taking a ton of damage. In this act, we are also against the test subject, which is the most evil of the Act 3 bosses for speedruns. In that shop, there was a big mistake. I could have taken a duplicator, a second duplicator, but I didn't see it, so I just fought a remove instead. At the Mad Science event, I do think it's sometimes correct to take the skills. Having more draw or energy is really fantastic, and gaining 8 block is also a lot of survivability for these kinds of speedruns. However, I wanted the vulnerable and the weakness from the Mad Science, which I did get. The attack Mad Science, that is. And I finally get to cash in on those 4 removes. From the test dummy event, I also get another duplicator, which is fantastic news. 2 duplicators should be enough. 3 would have been better, but 2 should be just fine. The game piece is nice. I probably should have taken that second gamble, but it's not a huge deal. There is diminishing returns on those. I immediately forget about game piece, but it's fine because Adrenaline has Retain. This fight I definitely could have played better. The result of that is not that I'm taking damage, but I have to play a lot more cards to get out, which wastes a lot of time. Deciding what to do here also wastes some time. And it's funny because I'm choosing these kinds of things so carefully, but there's going to be some stuff where I don't take it slow, and I immediately get super punished for it. Mad Science going in here. I can apply Vulnerable to the Amalgam, which means that it's going to take fewer hits to kill, and more hits of volley are going to hit the Queen. I could have played that a little bit better. I could have neutralized or Mad Scienced on the test sub or the Amalgam, but we are still getting out of here before Queen can attack us. So we're going into test subject at full HP, which could be very important. Going in now. Turn 1. I'm hoping that I don't have to play volley, but I do. Holding on to volley for phase 2 could have been a big deal. Now I have to draw back into it. With 2 adrenalines, that shouldn't be a big deal though. However, I did not play neutralize before volley, which was that massive mistake that I just referred to. Because of that, we're not killing this turn, and I have to take 16 damage and get 2 wounds shuffled in. The wounds are also compounding with the suits, and my draw consistency is starting to suffer. Here comes that intangible turn. I have to tank another hit here, and I don't have much block to draw into. Luckily, I do get my volley here, However, I have no extra energy for it, so it's not killing either. Beating Remnant saves a bit of health, and we're starting to get low. We're also getting 5 burns shuffled in, so if I can't kill next turn, we could be in trouble. However, I do, and that's GG. Thank you so much for watching. Again, if you'd like to catch my speedruns, my Twitch is in the description. Hope to see you there. Have a great day, everyone. Peace.